Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We are going to call in Serapis Bay because we are going to be reading out of my Ascension Handbook by Channeled Material by Serapis by Tony Stubb. And we're still on chapter 1. We're moving on to motion. Chapter 1 is what is energy? Motion. The two components of space and time lead to a third, motion. To move between 2 points on the physical plane takes time. Historically, it took months to travel between the east and the west coast of America. Now it takes 6 hours. The physical plane has a theoretical limit of the speed of light. At this speed, you could cross the country in a 16th of a second. But motion is a physical plane phenomenon, only does not occur in the same way on higher planes. This is because space is a created field. Points in that field are not really separated by anything. Everything exists on top of everything else. Your scientists are puzzled about how two electrons in different places seem to communicate instantaneously. The reason for this is the conscious energy that manifests into a subatomic particle is not in space at all. That's crazy. The energy exists in brilliant one point that is the mind of all that is. When they say all that is, they're talking about God's source of all. The project images that appear to be subatomic particles. Because the electrons are projected from the same one point, it is not surprising that they each know what the other is doing. Time is simply the perceived duration needed to move between two different points, which is zero off the physical plane because all points coexist simultaneously. Because time is simultaneous, the physical plane, if you were an electron, i.e. spirit functioning as an electron, you could project from point A and point B at the exact same time. So the idea of motion between A and B has no meaning. I hope that I've conveyed the sense of the underpinning of the physical plane. Space, time, and motion are in fact arbitrary local laws applicable to the physical plane frequencies of Earth. Your senses that created the perception of them. So they are an illusion according to this book and what I believe I've researched. Again, do your own research. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. Sensing space and time are functions in the intellect were built into the brain to support the human species on this planet. They are teaching tools just like in our schools. All students agree, usually to assemble in one room at a particular time for a lesson on agreed upon subject. In the same way, at the physical level, all members of the species must agree on certain things in order for the field trip to the planet Earth to become meaningful. So that's why they developed like present and past, because we only live in the now, but it helps you to think, okay, that happened a while ago, it is happening in the future. So it's something we created here on this planet and agreed on it would be helpful for us, is what I believe they're trying to say. It says, it's important that you widen your perception to the point that you're aware of yourself as a vast being on a visit to the corner of this universe, who arranges little outings, each one a physical incarnation of which you put on different bodies and personalities if you forget who you are. Unpleasant, but you certainly learn a lot from each experience of reincarnating onto this planet into a different body with a different life. Then you keep the same soul. Do you get that? So the life lessons are learned and the love is taken, but you shed those things. So you've learned polarity, in the yin, you've been in the yang, you've been in the shadow, you've been in the dark, you've been good, you've been bad, so that you can gain the wisdom from all that, what you want and what you don't want for your life. In the next chapter, we're going to go deeply into the nature of physical matter as standing wave of the lowest octave of energy, in order to demonstrate the fluidity of what you take for granted as a solid. And this book is a little bit more difficult to comprehend out of all the books I read, but Serapis Bey is part of the Ascension team, which is why I'm guided to read it. And this is an Ascension handbook. So these are insights that are, to me, important if you are going to evolve into a higher vibrational frequency, at least somewhat understanding these concepts. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're carrying love and you have empathy for others, you aren't carrying hate and judgment in your heart, you're trying to emulate Jesus and follow him in the way he led his life, then you're probably going to continue to ascend. Whether you know those things or not is my opinion, but it doesn't hurt. So I love you all. Have a blessed day and namaste.